in chapter 25, the seer overheard. So, Harry and Ginny are the new gossip for everyone right now. And honestly, Harry's very happy. Ginny's happy. They're cool. They aren't able to spend as much time together as they wanted to because of obviously Harry's detentions. And since Ginny is in her fifth year, she has the owls that she's getting ready for. And Hermione's also already scolded Harry for trying to take up her time. So she needs to study. So he's okay with that because he's already with her. And Ron is okay with it. He said pretty much as long as it's not Dean or the other guy, Michael. Um, but he says, yeah, I gave you permission. Jenny's like, you didn't give me permission to do anything. This is what I chose, and blah, blah, blah. And so they're the gossip. And Hermione brings up the prince and with the Harry book that he has, the Half Blood Prince. And Harry has still not gone back to the room requirement to get this book because he still believes that Snape is keeping an eye on him, maybe be able to catch him at one point with the book. So he's just not going to go back up there for right now. But Hermione pulled an article out from the Prophet about a woman named Eileen Prince, who was a former student at Hogwarts. And Hermione's like, maybe Prince wasn't a man. Maybe it was this person, or maybe a family name of Prince instead of, And Eileen also had, it was a half foot of half blood. So sure, I think her father was a wizard and her mother was not. But Harry already like put it down. He's like, no, the Prince is a man because of the way he writes, and I can just tell. And he just tells her to drop it. She drops it, and then he gets a message from Dumbledore to say to meet him as soon as possible. So Harry's like, he takes this as, oh, maybe he's found the Horcrux. So he goes out and runs to Dumbledore's office, and he runs into Professor Trelawney, who he hears a scream. So when he's on the way, he runs into her, and she explains that she just been attacked. And Harry's like, he notices the spot that we're in. This is where the room requirement was, and he's like, "Were you trying to get in the room requirement?" And she was like taken aback for a second. He's like, "How do you know about that?" He's like, "Never mind that, but some students do." And then she kind of explains that she heard someone else in there. She was trying to put some stuff in there. She heard someone else in there that was like really happy about something. Obviously, Harry's first thought was that's Malfoy, but he didn't say Malfoy. Oh, he kind of did say it, but then yeah. So then she explained that she called out to who was in the room, and then it went quiet, and then she was thrown out of the room, and that's where Harry found her, and then she explained. Um, she started saying some things about her not being appreciated and all that stuff, and then she happened to mention about when she was being hired at Hogwarts, when she was saying the prophecy to Dumbledore, that it was Snape who barged in the room. And at this moment, Harry was like, "What did you say?" Because they were walking to Dumbledore's office, so you're gonna have her tell Dumbledore what just happened in the room requirement. But this moment, he hears that and he bolts. He says, "Just stay here. Just stay here." He yells at her, "Stay here." And he runs in Dumbledore's office. And Dumbledore did confirm that he possibly found the location of the next Horcrux in a cave where Voldemort might have tortured two of his former um, orphanage people, I believe. Uh, but Harry couldn't really keep it in. He was so angry because if Snape was the one who barged in the door during the interview, that means Snape is the one that heard the prophecy, but not the full prophecy. And that also means Snape was the one that told Voldemort the prophecy, which made him then go and kill Harry's parents. This is a huge revelation and gives Harry more reason to hate Snape. Like a multitude more of reasons, like insane. So he's trying to keep it in while Dumbledore's explaining this, and he just blurts it out. He yells it. So Snape was the one who heard the prophecy, and Snape was the one basically who was the reason to kill my parents. And Dumbledore, hears this, and it was like he kept calm. He was like, yes, Snape regards this as one of the biggest mistakes of his life, and Harry doesn't want to hear that. He doesn't want to hear that. Like, he's like, I don't care. Snape is the reason, and you trust him the most out of anyone. And Dumbledore backs this and says, yes, I trust Snape the most out of everyone. At this time in his life, he was still very much in Voldemort's circle, and he felt like he needed to tell him this. But he went and regretted a lot because of what led to happen. And then, so they kind of drop it because Dumbledore gets a little irritated about the conversation, and then he tells Harry, I'm going to warn you beforehand. This could be very dangerous. And he just says, do you still want to go with me? Harry obviously says yes, because he's already in a bad mood and he wants to fight. He wants to do something productive. And yeah, at this moment, Dumbledore's like, okay, you need to follow my instructions to the letter, to the T. If I tell you to run, you run. If I tell you to hide, you hide. If I tell you to and leave me and don't come back, then do it. And Harry's like, okay. He hesitated right there at that point, but he said, okay. And Dumbledore's like, okay, go get your invisibility cloak. Meet me downstairs in 5 minutes. So he goes, runs, gets the invisibility cloak, and he tells Ron and Hermione everything that just happened, and says, you need to watch Malfoy and Snape. So he gives Hermione the Marauders map and just tells her, keep watch of Malfoy and Snape. I believe when Dumbledore leaves, they're going to do what they need to do. And he just gives her instructions. Basically, he says, um, the way he's talking, like he might not make it back either. So Hermione was kind of getting emotional a little bit, and he was just explaining, just something's going to happen, and I need you and Ron to be on the lookout, basically, to defend whatever happens. And then he leaves, and then he goes meet Dumbledore downstairs, and they head out to Hogsmeade so they can actually have like an alibi kind of where they've been. They talk to one of the store owners, and Harry grabs Dumbledore's arm, and they apparate out of there. Huge, 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 huge revelation there, especially with I feel like when next time Harry sees Snape, he's gonna kill him, or at least attempt to kill him, or Malfoy. Either one of them he sees first, it's on sight. Him and Malfoy already had a fight. He already knows the dangerous spell. It's on sight, but he's got to survive what's about to come in this cave. And I feel like this next chapter is gonna be an interesting chapter, or I guess the next couple chapters, because I only got about 5 chapters left.